Today we're taking a look at the Kobe 8 Protro Halo. Welcome back to Kicks on Kicks, my channel where I review sneakers, and today we're taking a look at the Kobe 8 Protro Halo, the all-white Kobe 8 Protro, highly anticipated for Mamba Day 2023. I finally got my pair, courtesy of the homies over at Pick Pop. But yeah, man, we're taking a look at this shoe. I'm going to tell you all about the shoe. I'm going to show you some on-foot shots. We're going to talk about the packaging, legit checking indicators, all of it. So let's go ahead and get started. I like to start from the bottom up. And what we've got here, this is the Kobe 8 outsole. Now, you'll notice this is actually a standard Kobe 8 outsole, like the outsole that you saw on the original Kobe 8. Not the same outsole that you'd see on the Protros. We'll talk about that in a second when we get to legit checking indicators. But got this nice herringbone traction pattern with these sort of mamba scales around the outside on the lateral side of the shoe. Got your mamba logo right there. Love that. Now let's move up to the midsole. Well, first, we've got this sort of carbon fiber plate here for a little bit more stability. Doesn't bend, which is nice. Now, that outsole, we've got some interesting little markings here. I don't even know what that's supposed to mean. It's like a target, lightning bolt, the infinity. I don't know what this means. I never even noticed that until I just looked at this like just now. But moving up toward the midsole, we've got a Mamba logo here toward the forefoot. And as you'll see, all around the midsole, we've got Mamba logos sort of as a pattern on the shoe. Love that a whole lot. Very cool. Now, let's go ahead and move on to the upper. This is an all knit engineered mesh upper, not fly knit, but engineered mesh. And we can see, at first glance, it just looks like it's mesh. It's not until you look at it with a black light that you can really appreciate the patterns. So all right, so I turned the light down just so I could show you. You can start to see under a black light how that pattern almost is kind of reminds you of like a subway map or like a city schematic. There are points where the woven material or woven pattern is super tight. There are points where it's a little bit more loose. You can even see little underpinnings where there's supposed to be stability and where there's a little bit less, tension for an overall great wear. This is one of the best basketball shoes. Players still, to this day, love wearing Kobe 8s. Let me turn this light back up a little bit. And so that's really dope. This whole fly knit pattern, I love. Engineered mesh, whatever we want to call it. Now, on your lateral side, you do have a pretty big embroidered swoosh right there. Everything's all white. Of course, this released on Kobe's birthday, which is August 23rd. And according to Vanessa Bryant, we're going to get this sort of all white or a halo drop every year on Kobe's birthday, which is cool. So this is the first in the series. It's a Kobe 8. I don't know what the next one will be. Maybe the next one will be a Kobe 4 or a Kobe 6, or I don't know, but I'm down for it. Now, obviously, this is a Protro performance retro. Kobe kind of came up with that concept himself. Basically, it looks like the old design, but it's got materials so that you can play in it in 2023 and hopefully even beyond. So now, looking at the medial side of the shoe, we've got another smaller swoosh right here towards your ankle. If you look at the back of the shoe, the heel of the shoe, you've got a little Mamba logo there. It's going to be really hard to tell because this is an all white shoe. I got studio lights in here, but you got the little Mamba logo. We've got a sort of basketball print pattern here on the heel as well. This is a nice combination of textures and feels on this. On the lateral side, you can see on your heel, you've got Kobe's signature. Some other hidden details we can talk about in a second. But before we talk about more details on the shoe, let's talk about the tongue. Because this tongue is actually different from the old school Kobe 8s that had that sort of paper thin tongue that would kind of cut up your ankles. This one's got a more traditional leather tongue. It's a lot softer, especially on the back side. So if you're wearing these to play ball, that's actually what this shoe is designed for. If you're wearing these to play ball, I'm happy to report, like, these feel great. Like, I don't play ball. Famously, I don't play ball. But these feel so good that I wish I did play ball. Like, you feel like, it almost feels like you want to play ball just to have an excuse to wear them. Like, it's hard to explain the way this shoe, like, feels on foot. But a large part of that is because of this insole. It's a drop-in midsole, super thick. This is actually made out of lunar lawn foam. And since we're talking about it, this is going to be one of the biggest legit checking indicators for this shoe, because as you can see, this is a lunar lawn foam midsole, or drop-in midsole. The actual Performance Retro comes with a React sole, a Nike React sole. It's got a different pattern going up the top. It's a different insole altogether. So that's something you're going to want to look out for. But I can report that this is the same insole that would have come on a regular Kobe 8. And to me, it feels good. I don't play basketball, so the insole wasn't going to matter a whole lot to me, but there's probably going to be just that much more comfort on that Nike React sole, since that is a newer, softer, more responsive foam from, 8 years ago when the Kobe 8s first dropped. So, interesting stuff, great stuff, if you ask me. Now, let's talk about the packaging real quick, since we've talked about a couple of legit checking indicators. Let's look at the packaging, because this box is actually going to be the biggest tell that this shoe is not the authentic shoe. The retail box actually looks like this with the spot gloss Kobe logo, but the retail box actually has like black mamba scales all over it. This does not have that. Now let's take a look at the size tag. My shoe says Kobe 8 System Prelude. Colorway is white, white, white. Got mine in a size 9 because I wear a size 9. Now, interestingly enough, this box label is wrong. This shoe should say Kobe 8 Protro, colorway white, white, white. So not Kobe 8 System Prelude. That was just wrong. So if you're looking for legit checking indicators, as of right now, there are several that you can see on the shoe. Inside the box, nothing special. It's just a black box with some paper inside. The other legit checking indicator that you can look out for actually is on that knit portion of the upper, and we'll talk about it. Because with shoes like this, it's engineered mesh. Somebody had to supply this mesh design to the overseas factories in order for them to make copies of this shoe. And so on its face, this looks pretty much exactly the same, except when you start scrutinizing that pattern here, there's actually a spot right like near where the toe box would be, where you can, if you look hard enough, you can see a KB24. And I can actually see that on this shoe. I see the KB24 right here as you meet that stitching area for the toe box. But it's supposed to be further down. You're supposed to be able to actually see the whole KB24. And I only see a part of it. It's been truncated because it's been cut off on my shoe. Other than that, the only real differences that you're going to notice will come like just as far as general craftsmanship. Like I got some loose stitching here. You likely wouldn't get that as bad on retail pairs. Hey, every pair is different, so you never know. But yeah, I got a loose stitch here. And I got a loose stitch back here toward the ankle, like where you would tie your shoe. But I mean, hey, these differences are super minimal, especially if you're buying these just to wear on feet, especially if you're not trying to play in these. Like, these are differences that people aren't going to notice, but you'll notice. As far as the sizing and fit are concerned, it's a Kobe. Kobe's fit narrow. They are made to fit on your feet, to lock your foot down and stay in place. And I'm happy to report it does. Like with this lunar line sole, it almost like, especially on the heel, it feels like it like sucks your foot in. Every time you step, it's like your foot gets like more and more in the shoe. That's how it feels. So one last legit checking indicator. Talked about the outsole. And I talked about how you've got these sort of mamba scales around the lateral side of your foot. You see how on the bottom those scales face upward and they turn to the side when you get to the top of the forefoot? On the actual Protro model, they've actually turned those scales. And so they all face upwards. I don't know if that makes any real difference for like the hoopers out there, but that's an easy way to tell that this is a Fugazi unless they update the pairs later on. So that's pretty much the shoe. I gave you a great breakdown how you can tell the real from fake, and showed you the packaging. I guess all that's really left to show you is an on foot. So let's cut to that, and I'll see you in another review real soon. Peace.